Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Friday, December 27th, 2024. It is the 7th of Capricorn, and it is the day of beauty. So today in our Yuletide festivities, we are going to be honoring the land spirits. Even though the earth is sleeping, there are still spirits and beings who do hold sway during chilly months, and they're roving about and doing whatever it is that they do. So in order for this, we might create an outdoor altar or provide animal safe offerings in the outdoor setting. We can provide shelter if possible to local wild fauna, but essentially get out there, say, I acknowledge you, I am honoring you, bring them a gift of some capacity. Again, probably best that it's safe for whatever wild animals that might be coming across it, because if they see something that looks edible, well, you know what they're going to do. They are going to try and consume it. But make sure that they are remembered at this time of year, because sometimes I think in winter we forget that there are still beings of the natural world who are roving about. So this would be a very graceful thing to do, I think. Then in our astrology, the sun is in Capricorn, cardinal earth representing ambition. And we've got all sorts going on with the moon today. It begins in fourth quarter Scorpio, fixed water, representing secrets. And then at 8:24 a.m., it does go void, of course. And then this afternoon at 1:46 p.m. Central Time, it moves into fourth quarter Sagittarius, mutable fire, representing adventure. And by the way, we have another cat visitor. This is little Harry. We originally called him Prince Harry because he was the most vocal of all of the kittens, and that reminded me of the prince very much. But moving on with today's astrology, Mercury is in Sagittarius, mutable fire, which is to be opinionated. Venus is in Aquarius, fixed air, which is to be intellectual. Mars is retrograding in Leo, fixed fire, which represents tempered action. Jupiter is retrograding in Gemini, mutable air, which is to broaden perspective. Saturn is in Pisces, mutable water, representing nostalgia. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is in Pisces, mutable water, representing intuition. And Pluto is in Aquarius, fixed air, representing reformation. Now, for those retrograde reminders, for Mars, reconsider what you really want. For Jupiter, reconnect with your true path. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. And then for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. Next up, we have that waning crescent moon. So celebration, contemplation, cultivate, rest. Those are the energies we need to be keeping in mind at the moment. And then the theme for the Sagittarius moon is truth and travel. Now, Fridays are always days of love because they were named after various goddesses associated with love. And I thought that today, in honor of Yuletide, we can show love and appreciation for the spirits of the land. The Sagittarian moon might make us feel ready to explore the landscape, despite, any insufficiencies of temperature. Just dress appropriately. That's always the key. And the Aquarius Venus, that keeps us intellectually alert for all we have observed. If you have a skill at sketching or drawing or anything of that kind, this might be a good opportunity for you to take your sketchbook with you and just relate what it is that you can see. For the rest of us mere mortals, I guess this is a good opportunity for us to whip out the old phone and take some pictures. And perhaps use these pictures as when we are having to meditate on the inside because it's cold. I doubt very many of us are actually meditating outside very much at the moment. But we can take out those pictures. We can use it as a focal point, particularly if they really have a hard time focusing and just being quiet. The pictures that we're seeing that we took of the outside world, that can help calm us, get us in a much more relaxed state, and it gives our active mind something to focus upon while we are just kind of letting the baggage leave us during the course of our meditation. So, might be useful for us later. Then today's tarot card is the moon. It is number 18 in the major arcana, and its keywords are illusion, imagination, and secrets. The moon is mysterious. The only reason we can see it is because it is reflecting the sun's rays. Otherwise, it would just be this quiet, silent companion in the night sky. And so when we are looking at the moon, we're not getting that full brightness that we do during the day, so we don't always see things very clearly. That can make us see illusions. It does allow our imaginations a little bit of room to run rampant. And there's something about the night that does make secrets come out and secrets be kept. And you have this rather charming family sitting by their fireside. You have the picture of the moon above them, And the way they're interacting and looking at one another, it looks as though they are using this kind of quiet, introverted time to truly bond together as a family. Probably leaning more so into the energy of imagination, telling stories, things of that nature. So we'll just kind of watch to see how this energy is manifesting in your particular circle today. Is it time for you to enjoy the imagination, perhaps some storytelling? Are there going to be secrets that come your way? Are secrets going to be unearthed? Are you going to have to be on the watch for illusions? Just be aware. Then today's Celtic triad, three words of counsel from Tilo and Droi. Know thy power, know thy wisdom, and know thy time. So to begin with, Tilo, it means saintly or holy man. Droi is a druid, a wizard, a witch, a magician, diviner, that sort of thing. So, in other words, this is the counsel of the priest and the magician. So begin with, know what you are capable of. 1,000%. If you don't know what you are capable of, you're not going to be making the wisest choices for your life. And then acknowledge your field of expertise, the range of your practical experience. Those are the feeding grounds and the proving grounds of your wisdom. Know yourself there. And then when it comes to time, choose your moment properly. Look for when people are being more receptive to your ideas and for the conditions and climate to be suitable to your project. You combine these three pieces of advice and you are going to find greater success in life. It requires a lot of paying attention and a lot of acknowledging what is. Then today's magical correspondences, they are on the theme of transformation. The color is blue, the plant is violet, the animal is bluebird, and the crystal is labradorite. If you desire change, as so many of us do, you must be the one to instigate it. And then you must be the one who follows through with your intention, and you must be the one to work to create it. If you are not putting your own energy as much as you can possibly spare into the kind of change you want to see, not only will it not come to pass, but you would have been self sabotaging. And you don't want to get into the habit of doing that. And if you have been in the habit, this is a good time for you to start breaking that habit and to make sure that you are working much more constructively because no one likes unfulfilled dreams and unaccomplished goals. Do what you can. So today's hearthkeeping hint is about ancestral shrines. It's a good idea to have a shrine for them, or at least keep some family photos around. For one thing, it connects the family to their heritage. It is a reminder that we are links in the chain of our lineage. We're not the beginning, we're not the end. We are part of a greater whole, and that can provide a sense of belonging. And it also keeps the departed close to our hearts and our memories. And especially if you had a departed relative that you wish your children would have known, having something around in their honor, using, perhaps keepsakes, maybe it's great Aunt Ellen, and you inherited this quilt that she quilted, and you use it all the time, and you make sure your kids know who made it, what kind of lady she was. That is providing an avenue for your children to know their great grandmother in a way that, they wouldn't otherwise be able to do because, she's no longer corporeally there. Um, and it's just, I think it also helps ground people, and I think it also helps take the sting out of a separation because people live far away from each other, or the kind of separation that comes about through physical mortality. I think it takes a little bit of the sting away. So definitely, your home should have your family. Even if you have a difficult relationship with your family, there should still something be in your home that does connect you to the good things about them. And I say this as someone who is estranged from a great deal of my family because they're Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm a pagan witch. It doesn't get much more oil and water than that. But there are still echoes. If you looked around to where I live, you could see echoes of their influence, echoes of good memories of them, and of course, I do have some personal mementos of them. And I think that's just a good, healthy thing to do, even in adverse circumstances. Then in today's practice, honor the land spirits today. Try to do something kind for the local fauna if you can. Spoil your sweetie. And then our archetype today is the winter couple. What do you think is the key to resilience through hard times, especially when context of working together as a team? I think that's worth a little contemplation. Then, if you're needing a meditation prompt, warmth of the heart when one's bones are chilled. Now, Again, a lot of the country, it's a lot warmer than what it usually is this time of year, so we might not have very chilly bones as yet, but the winter has only begun. We have a lot to get through. We might find ourselves in that situation sooner than we think, and I think it's good to already have some productive thoughts already stored up for just that occasion, particularly if you struggle with seasonal affective disorder. If you can think about how to build yourself up now, when things are perhaps not as bad as what they could be, when the harshness of winter does arrive, you have fortified yourself, and maybe you can lessen your symptoms or suffer a little less from them. It's worth trying. And then, if you have some peridot, you might choose to carry or wear it today. In our creative corner, it's a fun little craft project is creating little treats to help sustain the birds through winter. If you have a length of string, some bird safe goodies, you can string them together, hang them from a tree. Good for the birds, and you'll have the treat of watching our feathered friends. And this what looks like right here. That's not doesn't seem very complicated. It looks like someone made one of those bird seed balls of bird safe ingredients. I see some apples strung together. I see some pine cones. I see a little bit of evergreen, which I don't know that the birds will necessarily nibble on, but gives them a spot to perch on at least. And it's simple. That doesn't seem like it would be a very expensive thing to do, and it helps get the winter birds through the winter. Then for our journal prompt, do you celebrate new life when it comes, or do you see it as a burden? Now you could contemplate this in the most literal fashion, as there is a new baby in your life, whether it's your own or a friend's or a relative's or whoever else's. But you might also think it in terms of new chapters in your life. Do you see these fresh starts as something that is a blessing or something that is a burden? I think that could be lead to some very interesting contemplations. And it seems that I failed to put on our farewell slide on this particular presentation. My apologies, but nevertheless, I hope you have a magical day. I wish you bright blessings and all of the joys of the season. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic time today, and I, of course, will see you guys in the next video. Bye.